Hi, I'm Jenny from the Missouri Star Quilt Company, and today I'm going to show you 2 quick and easy ways to make the magic square. This quilt behind me is a gorgeous quilt made using a fabric line from Benartex called Lemon Tree. It just uses the 3 colors, but the way all the colors play together and all the different patterns, it just makes a really fun and interesting quilt. So let me show you what you're going to need to make this quilt. You're going to need a layer cake, you're going to need a jelly roll, you're going to need your rotary cutter and your scissors and your ruler. So not too many supplies, just a few things. And let me show you how to do this. So we're going to first we'll take our layer cake square. And because we know that a layer cake square is 10 by 10, we're going to cut 2 10-inch pieces to sew on the sides. So we've got that done here. You can see these are already sewn on. Then we're going to add our pieces on the top and the bottom. And so let's go ahead and do that. I've already got mine cut out here. You may want to go ahead and measure your blocks so you know what size they are to cut out those side strips. And then you're going to sew them 1/4 inch down either side. Yeah, I caught my tail in there. There we go. Now before I iron, I'm just going to flip this around and sew this strip on the other side. And then we'll iron all at once. All right, so now let's press these open. We're going to come over here, we're going to set these seams, and then we're just going to roll them back. Now to make this block, you're going to need 2 of these. So you'll need two of these framed blocks together. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this one in half, just like this, and I'm going to iron a crease down the middle. We want to make sure that we get it right on that angle. And then come across here, and you want this to be a pretty good crease that you can see. You want to be able to see this crease when we sew together. Okay, so I have another one here that I've already made, and what we're going to do, we're going to treat this like the original half square triangle, where you go ahead and you put your 2 blocks on top of each other like this. And you've sewn or drawn the line down the middle. And what we're going to do is we're going to put a couple of pins in this to anchor it. There we are. Let's go ahead and put that pin in there. The pin's got a little bit of a bend to it, but that's all right. So we're going to pin this down, and then what we're going to do is see this crease right here? We're going to sew 1/4 inch on either side, just right down the sides like this. And so let's go ahead and do that. And this part, this is where the magic happens. So we lay our presser foot right on that. We lay our presser foot right on that fold, and we just sew down one side. Get all the way down to the end. And we sew right off, and then we're just going to lift it up and pull it around, and we're going to sew back down the other side on the other side of that fold line. There we go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to come over here, and you can use a rotary cutter or your scissors, and we're just going to cut on that fold line right down here. There we go. And we're going to go ahead and pull our pins out. And then we're going to open up these blocks, and what you get is a block that's half one block and half the other. And so it makes this great looking block like this with very little piecing. You never had to handle the little pieces, so that makes it fun. So let's iron these so you can get a good look at them. This is a really, really fun way. It works with any size square. You know, you just want to make sure that you border your strips around the edge of your square. And then you put, you know, your squares are the same size, so when you put them together, again, you go through and you iron that crease, sew on either side of the crease, cut down the center, and you get these two great blocks. Now there's another way to make these that really works just as well. And let me show you that. To make this block, you're going to need a turnover and a jelly roll. Sometimes these turnovers are fun. We always like new ideas for what to do with them. So basically, we're going to make a block that looks like this. The turnover is a little bit smaller, so it'll make a little bit smaller block. And what I've done is I've opened up my turnovers and my strips. Here they are here. So I've opened up my turnovers and my strips, and what I've done is I've cut my strips into 8-inch pieces and into, I think these are, let's see, these are 10-inch pieces. So I cut my strips into 8-inch pieces, 2 8-inch pieces, and 2 10-inch pieces, because in your turnovers you're going to get 80 squares in that little turnover bundle. And so then what we're going to do is we're going to take this turnover and we're going to lay the short one along the side like this. We're just going to match it up on the side, and we're going to sew right down that edge. Then we're going to press this open. Here, let me scoot these over here. There we go. This is also a fun line by Benartex called My True Love Gave to Me. And then the reason you need this little tail down here is that we're going to cut along here, and you've got to keep the angle going. So then we're going to get our long piece here, and we're going to put it, lay it again right so that it comes up even with the top right here, and then all the way down this side. And I'm going to flip this over and sew this way so I can see where this piece ends. And I just keep that edge of the turnover lined up with the strip. Sew a 1/4 of an inch. And then we're just going to, I'm going to clip these threads real quick here. And then we're going to press that back. And when you pick out these fabrics, you just want to make sure your fabrics are contrasting. And to trim off this turnover now, what we're going to do is we're going to use the turnover as our guide. So we're going to use that as our line. We're going to line up our ruler on the edge of the turnover and see how this, here, let me scoot this out here a little bit. See how this, this uses quite a bit of extra fabric when we come down here from the turnover line. So that's why the 8 and 10-inch strips. So there's that one. Now we're going to come up here and line up, you line our ruler up using the turnover as a guide, cut to the end. So you end up with a block that looks like this. And then what's fun, I have some others over here that are finished, is we'll go ahead and you put 2 of these together, and you can pick your 2 different blocks to put together, and we just lay them on each other like this and sew them right down the center. And that gives you the magic square in a square look also. right, let's go ahead and iron this open. So we're just gonna, oh, I forgot to set that. Let me set that. Roll it back. And there you have this square. So let me lay a couple of these out so you can see how this will look with this Christmassy fabric. It's just going to make a fun, quick idea. And this one I sashed, but you don't have to do that. You can do it however you want. Look how pretty this is. There we go. So there are 2 quick and easy ways to make the magic square. And we hope you enjoyed this tutorial from the Missouri Star Quilt Company.